Chapter 1 Bumping into a female driver. Jiangnan City, morning. Yi Bufan stood at the roadside, looking at the rolling traffic with a complicated expression. Go pay the operation fee, or I guarantee that your mother will not live past today. You still have the face to talk about borrowing money. The money you borrowed from our family last time has not been returned yet. No money. No money. What does it matter to me if your mother dies or not? Yi Bufan's mother was hospitalized and urgently needed 50,000 yuan for surgery, but he couldn't raise a penny even though he tried everything, which made him anxious. It seemed that I could only pretend to be hit on the road, picked up the opportunity to extort the owner of a sum of money in order to pay for the operation. Although it is against my conscience, there is no other way. When I have the money, I'll pay people back immediately. After he made up his mind, he looked down the road again. 50,000 is not a small amount, and he had to find a better car and pretend to be hit. At this time, a red Maserati drove over. Its speed does not look too fast. That's it. Yi Bufan took 2 quick steps forward and sprinted to the front of the Maserati. He had seen several similar extortion cases online and was already familiar with the procedure. When seeing his sudden appearance, the driver will definitely slam on the brakes hard. And as soon as the car stopped, he immediately got under the wheels of the car and demanded money. But he never expected the Maserati owner to react differently than he thought. The driver did not follow the rules at all. The driver is a very beautiful girl. She screamed in terror when she saw a man suddenly appear in front of her car. Instead of hitting the brakes, she instead let go of the steering wheel with both hands and covered her eyes. Holy shit, what is this situation? What the hell are you doing covering your eyes instead of stepping on the brakes? And, what do you want to do with the gas pedal? He saw the Maserati sped over like a wild horse, and it was too late for Yi Bufan to hide. Hearing a loud bang, he was knocked a dozen meters away like a kite with a broken string. He was in midair, feeling the bones of the whole body are broken, followed by a large chunk of blood vomited out of his wow. The wages of sin is death. This is his last thought, and then he lost consciousness. The accident attracted countless people around, but no one noticed that the blood he spat out spurted on an ancient jade pendant on his chest, which was absorbed cleanly in a flash. Yi Bufan was an orphan. When adopted by his mother, this piece of pendant is the only token, so HR always wear it on his chest. He dazedly felt a warmth coming from his chest, followed by a blast in his mind. Descendant Yi Bufan, receive my ancient medical sect's inheritance. Then an old man in green with white hair appeared in his sea of consciousness. I am Yi Xiaoyao, from the ancient medical sect. You have received my inheritance, then you should abide by the rules of our ancient medical sect. From now on, you have to help the world and practice medicine. Then countless information entered his brain, such as martial arts techniques, medical spells, arcane techniques, and various skills. Immediately after the information flooded in, it merged with his memory and became incomparably clear, as if he was born with it. At the same time, the ancient jade pendant on his chest became hotter and hotter, and eventually it turned into a thick stream of air that was injected into his body. The air flowed into his body and quickly strengthened his muscles and bones, and repaired the heavy injuries he had just received one by one. An extremely comfortable feeling came over him, and Yi Bufan soon fell into a deep sleep. After an unknown period of time, he regained consciousness and opened his eyes to see that his surroundings were snowy white, and that he was in a hospital ward. What just happened? Was it a dream? He subconsciously touched his chest. The pendant on his chest only had a red rope left. The ancient jade had disappeared. Obviously he was hit hard by the Maserati, but now there was no pain at all. His condition was better than ever. Every muscle fiber was full of strength. The medical arts, arcane arts, and martial arts techniques learned in the brain were all clear, each proving that it was not a dream, and that he had indeed received the ancient medical sect's inheritance. You're awake. A surprised voice sounded in his ears, and then a stunningly beautiful face appeared in front of him. This woman's long hair was draped over her shoulders. Her cheeks were so exquisite that one could not pick out any flaws, and with her exquisite figure in the front and back, she was really beautiful to the extreme. He could not help but freeze. He had never seen such a beautiful woman in all his life. The beauty of the female celebrities on TV is just like this. I'm really sorry. My name is Qin Chuchu. I just got my driver's license yesterday. I didn't expect to hit you today. Only then did Yi Bufan remember that the girl with an apologetic face in front of him was the owner of the Maserati. He did not have any resentment towards this girl. It was his own initiative to bump onto the car. He was the real one to blame. On the contrary, his heart was also full of gratitude. If he hadn't met this female driver, he wouldn't have obtained the ancient medical sect's inheritance. Seeing that he did not say anything, Qin Chuchu continued, Don't worry. I will be responsible for crushing you. You will recuperate well here. I will be responsible for all medical expenses until you are completely healed and discharged. Seeing that the girl in front of him did not have the arrogant air of a rich girl, Yi Bufan's heart felt better and he said, "Thank you. I'll be fine. I was scared to death yesterday. I can't believe I knocked you out so far." Qin Chuchu patted her towering chest and said, "Strange to say, after the doctor's examination, he said you were surprisingly fine. You were only temporarily in a coma with a concussion. This is simply a miracle. My car was sent for overhaul and you were fine. It's unbelievable." Hearing the word coma, Yi Bufan's heart was shocked and asked eagerly, "How long was I in a coma?" Qin Chuchu said, "Almost half a day. Originally the doctor said you would wake up only after 24 hours. Half a day?" Yi Bufan sat up violently. His mother was still in the hospital with her life in danger. He could not delay here any longer. Now that he had obtained the inheritance of the ancient medical sect, there is no one under the sky whose medical skills can surpass his. They no longer need other doctors to do the surgery. He can cure his mother's illness. In his anxiety, he took Qin Chuchu's hand and asked eagerly, "Where are we?" Qin Chuchu was so shocked by his reaction that she even forgot to pull her hand back and said reflexively, "This is the central hospital." His own mother was in Jiangnan Hospital, which was still some distance away from here. Yi Bufan jumped off the bed, put on his shoes and hurriedly ran outside. Qin Chuchu called out from behind, "Hey, where are you going? The doctor wants you to take a good rest." "I'm fine. Let's do the discharge directly." Yi Bufan finished speaking and left the central hospital in a flash, running towards Jiangnan Hospital, passing a pharmacy and buying a pack of silver needles to put in his pocket. In the ICU ward of Jiangnan Hospital, the attending Dr. Xie Haitao looked at Ouyang Lan's eyelids and looked at the bedside instruments, and said to Nurse Zhang Xiaoman, "The person is dead for sure. Let's proceed to the next step." "Got it, Dr. Xie." Zhang Xiaoman promised, took a white cloth sheet, ready to cover the deceased. Xie Haitao glanced at Ouyang Lan Whi was lying on the bed. His eyes were full of cold indifference, without any regret or guilt. "If her family can pay 50,000 yuan for the operation, then I'll do the surgery for her, there may be hope for survival. It's a pity that they were so poor and couldn't even get such a small amount of money. Without money, she could only wait for death." At that moment, Yi Bufan rushed in from outside and saw the white cloth sheet in Zhang Xiaoman's hand and shouted, "Stop, what are you doing?" Zhang Xiaoman was startled, stopped the action in her hands and said, "The patient is dead." "Nonsense, my mother is not dead." Yi Bufan obtained the ancient medical sect's inheritance and grasped Ouyang Lan's condition clearly after just a glance, and she was now only in a fake death state before dying, not really dead. He stepped forward and pushed Zhang Xiaoman away, took out the silver needles from his pocket, and struck out like lightning, hurriedly stabbing a silver needle into Ouyang Lan's body.